podcaster, entertainer, philosopher, comedian, Mike Usenick. Usenick Unleashed!
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Technology is amazing, isn't it?
It is. I had to open it in another tab for some reason.
That's weird. That's very, very odd. What do you do? Tell our crowd. I know what you do, but what do you do?
Um, well, I do a lot of things, honestly.
You're a
Obviously,
jack of all traits, and I'm just a jack off. Go ahead.
no. No, I do the OnlyFans. I've done OnlyFans since God, I was like 22, so like 4 years. I worked in the
You
clubs.
started during the pandemic, like everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. No, I did start in 2020.
Damn.
Yep.
Did you know that it started off like Patreon? That was the original.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then OnlyFans was the only platform that's like, the rules are just don't hurt nobody. Like they're the like no, they're like the Wild West of the internet. You can just do whatever the hell you want over there. What's the weirdest request you've gotten over there though? It's got to be weird ones.
Hmm. Oh God. Honestly, yeah, some weird things. This one guy asked me to do like jumping jacks. Yeah. Gosh, I don't even know. Honestly, I try and block out a lot of it, so I try and forget things.
Trauma response. That's what we call that.
100%. Yeah, I have lost so many years of my life.
Wow. Good money though, I'd assume, or else you wouldn't still be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you pronunciate your name? Is it Brigitte, 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 Brigitte?
It's just yeah, it's just Bridget. Uh,
That's
yeah,
lame.
yeah. I got my name from I grew up a huge Marilyn Manson fan, and the way that he got his name was the first name of Marilyn Monroe, sex symbol, and last name of a psychopath, and so I took my name from Brigitte Bardot, the French actress, and obviously Ted Bundy.
I was going to ask him, like, you related to old Bundy? I mean, he was an interesting guy. He had skeletons in his closet. That's for sure.
For sure. No, I've always been fascinated by him, so
It's going to be interesting because I love serial killers. Not like in a literal sense, as in a figurative, at least, sense, because they interest me. Uh,
yes.
if you could go on a date with any serial killer, who would it be and why?
Oh God.
It's
I
gonna be,
probably it would be Ted Bundy, honestly, just to see if he would like me or if he would kill me.
well, I mean, didn't he kill who he liked?
Well, sort of. He killed girls that reminded him of his ex.
Why didn't he just kill his ex?
Because he didn't want to kill her. He wanted to kill yeah, because she had his kid. I think she had his kid, or she had a kid, not his kid. She had a kid, so
So
he
there's
didn't
his
want to.
first red flag. He's still hooked on his ex. There's his
Yeah,
first red flag.
definitely.
See, I would pick Jeffrey Dahmer because I
Well,
because
I have.
I, because I know he eats ass on the first date, like literally.
Oh, that's very true.
What's your tattoo you're gonna show?
I said I have tattoos, so he won't eat me.
Oh yeah, they taste gross.
Yeah.
I wonder what tattoos taste like. Like it'd have to taste like disgusting, like you're licking the top of a pen or eating ink
I mean, that's an interesting thought.
because you're literally welcome to my mind. Um, my mind is very odd, very very interesting place, and yours is too.
Yes.
So I saw your TikTok. There was this. We will call him a religious folk. and you yelling "Hail Satan" at him, which I saw the comments. They were quite happy people. Um, do you yourself identify as a Satanist, or
I don't really identify with anything, honestly. I just kind of go with the flow. I grew up like super religious, hardcore Christian, been to two different Christian schools, so I'm very anti Sky Daddy for sure.
you still
But
call him Bundy though?
yeah, yeah.
It's just
But
I don't. I'm the same way. I don't really have a religious
I
belief.
practice witchcraft as much as I can. I like the principles of Satanism, but I don't I'm not a hardcore Satanist or anything.
I would say like well, there's so many forms of Satanism too. People don't realize that there's like lots of sects of it. There's the Satanic Temple, which is the most recent one. Then you have the Church of Satan, which has 5 different churches. A lot of people don't realize that. Well, 4. They have the Church of Satan, and then when Anton LaVey died, his daughter left and formed the first Church of Satan. Michael Aquino left while Anton LaVey was alive and started worshiping Set, the Egyptian god. So he has the Temple of Set. And then you have, what's the other one? There's another one, but there's like 3 or 4 of them. And then you have the people that's not connected to the Church of Satan. Um, so it's like, it's crazy. And it's like the Satanist version of like the church. You know how they fight a lot? They're like, my God's different than yours, so mine's right. That's how it is over there. I've been in comment sections of groups, and they're like, Satanism never existed before Anton LaVey, and the rest of them's like, yeah, it did. It just wasn't called that. And then there's the other people like, no, he coined the term. And people's like, no, you're stupid. And I'm like, it's just you guys are doing what the people you're fighting against are doing.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
it's fucking hilarious to watch the irony of it all. And then you have the Thelemites. I don't know if you're familiar with Thelema, but Aleister Crowley,
Oh, yeah.
the religion he created, which Anton LaVey was actually inspired by.
Yes.
He didn't label Aleister Crowley fully as an inspiration, but do what thou wilt. Uh, like it's pretty much the Church of Satan's handbook. The only difference is they didn't have a deity. He did, which is crazy. You like the 23 flavors, huh?
I do like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Do you know what the 23 flavors of Dr. Pepper are?
No.
Let's see if you can guess. Come on, it's a game. It's a game show.
Oh, barbecue.
That is not one of the 23 flavors. All right, here's the 23 flavors. For those of you that want to know, you might want to make it at home. They are as follows: cola, of course, cherry, licorice, amaretto, which is almond and vanilla, blackberry, apricot, blueberry, caramel, pepper, anise, sarsaparilla, ginger, molasses, lemon, plum, orange, nutmeg, cardamom, allspice, coriander, juniper, birch, and prickly ash. I don't know what the hell prickly ash is, but it does not sound edible.
Gotta be like a root or something.
It does sound like the name of like a root. It sounds like something like a witch would put in her cauldron. Like you need like the hoof of a goat and prickly ash.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too. It's probably in a spell book I got somewhere.
I find it funny that a lot of people, mostly extremely religious people, like not the there's the good religious people that actually follow what their belief is, and then there's the ones that shove it down people's throats. The ones that shove it down people's throats, I can understand why they think paganism would be evil, because a lot of the names of herbs does sound kind of questionable.
Yeah, that's very true. But my parents are Christian, and yes, I still love them. But my mom is what I would consider a Christian witch because she deals very much in essential oils and herbal remedies and stuff. She's a very nature girly. So
There's a lot
I
of
do think that Christian witches exist.
yeah. Actually, the earliest form of Christianity was pagan. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you know. I follow a lot of theology and mythology. It's kind of like something I've recently gotten into. I risen with the tism. I get overly obsessed with something, and then I'm like, whatever, that's gone. Uh, but
Yeah.
one of the earliest forms of Christianity, they didn't believe what modern ones do, and the church pretty much declared it heresy and claimed that it's blasphemous. And then how they do, they kill them. Uh, well, they're called the Gnostics now, and they believe God is evil, and we're trapped in this material world, and we're soul parts of the divine, the real divine, trapped on this earth, and we were forced to forget our own knowledge and our own divine power. So the only way to overcome it is by realizing that you're God. Pretty much Satanism. And yeah, and yeah, they believe that pretty much God is Satan. It's a very interesting concept. They believe the real God is Sophia, which is wisdom in Latin. So Christian witches are real. It's just
Mhm.
one of the oldest forms of Christianity. Because you got to think about it, though. And I'm sorry if I'm veering off. Um, Christianity is very witchy if you sit back and watch it. And especially when you really dive into it. Because there's the people that do the spiritual side of it, and there's the ones that just do the prayers and don't go to church. Um, which both are cool, both are fine. But each religion is also different because you are your own person. You interpret things differently. So nobody really worships the same shit. Well, there's a lot of witchcraft. There's magic, prayer. The only difference is with magic, you're manipulating energy in the universe to try to get your goal to happen. Whereas prayer is God's will, but if He wants to get to it, He'll get to it. And then ash, I don't know what the hell, putting X's on your forehead, how that's not witchcraft.
Oh, big time. Symbolism is so huge in Christianity.
That's
Like
why black mass was created.
the number 7, the Trinity, like it all 666, like come on, people.
Well, the thing is the whole number thing originated with occultism way before modern Christianity. The devil wasn't even the devil until the 1600s when King James got a hold of the shit.
Mhm.
And a version of the devil existed within Judaism, but not within Christianity.
The King James Bible, when I went to the second Christian school that I went to, we had to have the King James version of the Bible. And honestly, I think they made us have it because none of us could understand it. So they would have to tell us what it meant.
Because the thing is, the way that and if you read Aleister Crowley, you'll know what I'm talking about, especially the Book of the Law. The way people wrote back then was metaphorically, it was symbolically, and because they had limited language. So they spoke very symbolically and metaphorically, and a lot of people took it literally, very literally.
Very.
And and a lot of that stuff, we don't even know what they're really talking about. We're just interpreting it the way that we think they meant. It's like, I don't know, and it's very contradictory. Very, because like with the Gnostics, they believed that Jesus is symbolic of yourself, and he taught the world self-knowledge. Be your own self, be your own God. That's why he said the kingdom of heaven is within. He's literally preaching everything against the Old Testament. So why do people forget that in that religion and they think he's the same thing as the previous? I don't know. It's weird. Welcome to Mike's church. No, join my coven. Uh, we actually do have one. It's over on Discord. It's,
Hell yeah.
do you do Discord?
So yeah, not right now. I have a Discord.
Well, when you start doing it again, join our Discord. We're gonna start doing that shit again. It's more of a book club than anything,
Okay, okay.
and we like meet up there and just hang out. I'm trying to get more people over there so we can just hang out and shit. See, it's funny when I'm out in public, since we were talking about like paganism and stuff. It's funny when I go out in public because nobody knows what the fuck I am. And you probably have a similar thing because I've seen all the different shit you post. And it's funny because like I've got this, but I've also got the little triquetra. I
Hmm.
also got the Celtic cross, and people are like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, starts conversation.
Yeah.
It's like it's incredible. What else do you do besides the OnlyFans thing?
Well, actually, I'm a dog groomer by trade. I did that for 7 years, but I have fibromyalgia, so my body unfortunately was not able to keep up with that.
Oh damn, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
And also because of OnlyFans and the fact that I smoke weed in my home in my own free time, people that own different salons and stuff in the area would take screenshots of things and send it to other owners of salons and post it on Facebook and harass me and make fake Facebooks and so yeah, so it's wasn't easy for me to have a job around here with that. So I would get ostracized. It wasn't because I was bad at my job or hurting the dogs or anything. No, simply just because I smoke weed and have an OnlyFans.
Who gives a fuck what you do in your free time? For one, for two, we all sell our bodies one way or another, whether it's for a job, like it's the world's oldest business. And even if people try to claim like religious reasons for being against it, I mean, Jesus fucked a hooker. Like, let's just throw that out there. So, like, what's the what's all the hubbub with all this shit? Like, I don't understand it. People are. I think what it is, and this is the legit reason, in my opinion, is people are so against transsexuals. Not all people, but vast majority in the area that we live in, because you live not too far from me. They're against transsexuals. They're against OnlyFans models. They're against anyone that's in the sex trade, really. And it boils down to it's not that they hate those people, it's that they don't understand. So therefore, they have to hate it instead of trying to understand because they're stuck in their ways, because they're projecting their own insecurities onto other people.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It's
People suck.
yeah, no, it's stupid, but it's like okay, whatever. Like if you're gonna bar me from doing my job that I love, then fine, whatever. You can have the dogs if they're that important to you.
What does you? I don't get it. Like, what does you being on OnlyFans have to do with dogs? It's
I don't know, man. I just
fucked up.
yeah, they were claiming like that I was a like an addict and stuff. I don't know what drugs they were claiming I was doing, but like I've never even done cocaine in my life. So like
Which is incredible because that's not a whole lot of people in your field can say that because
yeah.
cocaine's really popular, especially in the club industry. You
Yeah,
know,
and I used to work in the clubs. I used to dance, so
yeah, like
never done cocaine.
wow. Not saying that's a shock because I know that you don't do drugs, but like in
Yeah.
the industry that you're in, applause to you. Like that's
Yeah, no, I've never done anything really hard. Like the hardest thing that I've done is probably like acid. I've done acid. I've done mushrooms. I did DMT one time and I will never do that shit again.
DMT. We talked about this on a previous podcast I was on. DMT is like, do you know what DMT is? Like the chemical of DMT.
Well, I know it's naturally occurring in your brain.
Do you know during which process of your brain function?
No, I don't know that much about it.
your brain releases it as you're dying. It's pretty much the closest you'll get.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people take that for spiritual reasons,
yeah.
um,
Hmm.
because they feel that that is the one way for them to reach their higher subconscious, which science is actually, some scientists are digging into it because I was on Google. I don't know how true it is. Like I said, there's a disclaimer down there. But they found recently that our brain has like 12 stages of consciousness, and we only reach like, I think, 5 or 6 while we're alive if you meditate. But DMT takes you up to about 10. The only 2 is left is when you're actually dead.
Mm, love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Which means all of this is alive. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
want to
I
be
would
tricked.
not recommend it. I would definitely not recommend it.
What, this being alive?
Well, yeah, that, but DMT.
Oh no, I've been told no. I don't do drugs. I smoke herb. That's all I've done. I used to drink, but it's never been my thing. Um, Never liked drinking. Which by default I don't like drinking. So a lot of people don't really invite you places because we live in an area where people are unknowingly alcoholics.
Mhm. For
I'm
sure.
I'm not an alcoholic. I just drink every day. That's what people say, man. That's
Yeah.
We all have our crutches, though. I'm not one to judge. So, what is your favorite strain of cannabis?
If it's a flower, I smoked this really good one time. It was called Wedding Cake. That
Oh,
was the best flower I've ever smoked.
that shit's good. If you think that shit's good, try Cake It Easy.
Mm.
That shit's pretty good too. I'm more of an indica kind of guy, so like I also like a Granddaddy Perp. That's a legendary strain though, and so is what's the other one I tried that was legendary? I try to collect them like Pokemon. You got to catch them
Yeah.
all, but then you forget because weed clears your mind of shit that you don't need to know. I think it's the plant that really helps. Like you get to either a know your mind, your thoughts that you don't need there are gone, or you have a panic attack.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I heard a guy say it best: if you're having a panic attack when you're high on weed, that is your brain telling you that there is something in there that you need to address that you've been ignoring. And I'm like, word. And I'm not smoking that strain anymore because there's a lot of shit that.
Yeah. I never thought of that.
But it is true. Your brain
Yeah.
your brain only freaks out or you have a panic attack when there is an underlying thing that you're ignoring. Like for instance, let's say you're mad at somebody, you're upset at somebody. You're really just upset at yourself because if
Yeah.
because if you wasn't, then you wouldn't be mad at that person. You just realize that hey, it's just we're just not seeing eye to eye at this point. But your ego takes over and flip out. And that's when crazy shit happens. Like keying people's cars. Um, I see your face. You're like, I've done that time or
No,
two.
I've never keyed somebody's car.
What's the most petty thing you've done?
Okay, when I left my ex-fiance, I ripped the Wi-Fi box out the wall.
Damn.
And he had no service on his phone either, so he literally couldn't do shit without that Wi-Fi box.
See, I knew you did some shit like that because your hair's 2 different colors.
Yeah, yeah. No, if you like, I probably shouldn't say all this shit that my ex did, but like, I've been through some crazy fucking shit with my ex.
Well, typically, a person doesn't just do that out of nowhere unless they're like really traumatized. But typically, there's a reason.
That would be me. Yeah.
I love that your eyebrows are 2 different colors. Was that inspired by Harley Quinn?
For sure. Yeah, no, I really identify with Harley Quinn because of all the trauma and shit that she had been through, but she's still strong as fuck.
I just thought because you both dated a joke.
Yes. Yes. No, I've definitely dated the Joker. He was definitely not as handsome as Heath Ledger, but
You went straight with Heath Ledger? I don't know, like
Well, I
Jack.
was thinking Jack Nicholson.
That's my favorite Joker.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson. But Heath Ledger was he was a very attractive man.
He is. I mean, Jack back in like the 70s and shit was an attractive man, but like not The Shining like Jack. Like
No.
a little bit before The Shining, Jack.
Yeah.
Like
No, definitely not as handsome as Heath though.
no, but like it's weird. It's weird because as a straight male, I say this shit, but you can find beauty in anybody and not want to fuck them. That's but John Stamos, on the other hand, like
Oh,
like I'd let
yeah.
Uncle
At
Jesse
any
pick.
age.
I'd let
Well,
him.
over 18, obviously.
Well, yeah. I mean, I took that as an obvious.
Yeah. I just thought I would state it just in case somebody was not thinking obviously, because some people are stupid.
They are, and some people just assume
Yeah. Oh, over 18 John Stamos could get it. Also, I mean, hate me, but over 18 Johnny Depp could also get it. Especially in Cry Baby. Johnny Depp in Cry Baby.
Johnny. The only movie that you probably wouldn't want him to get it is him in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas,
Oh, yeah.
or Rango. That would be weird. You're like fucking a little chinchilla or whatever he was. What was that? What was the name of that animal? Not a chinchilla. That's a little furry animal. What's the
Armadillo?
armadillo? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You. I don't think you. I mean, it'd be
No.
weird. He can crawl up in there and shit, and like
Armadillos are so weird.
they are. They're very weird. He has that little like. Did you know there was a scene in that movie where they referenced Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
I haven't seen it.
You need to. There's a scene where he's like on the road and he almost gets run over and he flies
Oh my
past this
god.
car, and inside the car is Hunter S. Thompson and Roe Duke, his attorney, driving the car.
Oh my god.
I'm like, in a kids movie.
Oh my god. Oh my god, you know what kids movie you need to fucking watch? What is it called?
What?
Oh my god, what was it called? I think it was called like Larry or something like that. It was oh my god, who was in it? It's the funniest kids movie I've ever seen. I was literally cracking up. It was about I think a turtle that's in a kid's classroom and he gets taken home and they found out that he could talk.
I'll have to watch that. Just send it to me when you figure out the name.
Yeah, I think it's called Larry, but it's fucking hilarious. Like whoever made that movie.
Hilarious. I see
It's
what you're
Adam
doing.
Sandler. It's an Adam Sandler movie, that's why.
Adam Sandler.
I love Adam Sandler.
He could get it too. Anyway,
He has the same birthday as my boyfriend, so Virgoats.
I'm an Aries. I'm a tax baby.
Oh,
I'm a tax baby. And no, I'm not. I'm not that kind of Aries.
I
Like
hate Aries. Aries is my least favorite sign.
I'm not the fiery Aries. Like I'm towards the end of the Aries cycle. I'm April 16th.
Okay.
Like
More towards the Taurus.
yeah. So
Taurus is not much better.
I kind of share the characteristics. And the thing is like what your sign is doesn't matter because there's like 9 different signs that you can also follow. There's the rising sign. There's the ascend. There, well, ascending's the same thing. Then there's the
Yeah.
sun, the moon, the Jupiter, the Mars, the Venus, whatever the fuck they are. I'm not that
Yeah.
far into that
I
astrology.
did my first 4.
Yeah, I know people that know all 9.
I know my last one is, I believe Pluto.
I'm like, I'm like, really? Like, you know all 9, and they know the houses it's in. I'm like, wow. Like, what are you,
That's
Egyptian?
a little much. Yeah, that's a little much.
Like, have you ever looked into the fucking Egyptians? That shit's crazy.
They had shit figured out. They really did have shit figured out.
The Pyramid of Giza, right, is literally sitting right where the sun hits in the evening. I am convinced that they were not from this planet. I don't
Oh
want to
yeah.
I don't want to sound like the guy from Ancient Aliens, but I am convinced that they are not because the shit they did, and the fact is we can't figure out how the pyramids were built, and we're finding tunnels underneath of the pyramids. The fuck?
Yeah, them and the Mayans.
And the Sumerians.
Yeah, that's the other one. The three, yeah, and they're all like lined up with each other, and they're all like pointed the same direction and shit. There's this investigative journalist that I watch. His name's Tyler Oliveira, and he went and he investigated the pyramids and shit. And I remember him saying that he didn't believe that they were of this world. The people that built it weren't definitely not of this world because how?
Are you familiar with the show Ancient Aliens?
Of course,
They're coming to Wheeling. Um, they're coming to the Capitol Theater Sunday at
no
8.
way.
Yeah, I'm going. Fuck. Yeah. They're doing a Q&A and shit, I think, during it.
Are you out in Wheeling?
I live in Ohio,
Oh,
12
oh,
minutes from Wheeling, yes.
uh,
Yeah, I live out where, like, people like me and you's not welcome. No.
I get that. I'm not welcome in my own damn city, honestly. People keep telling me to move out. I don't know if you saw that Facebook post, but literally people were telling me to move.
I I'm a havoc to society, so if you ever see me in your comments being a havoc to society and pissing people off, you're welcome.
It was crazy. I was like, I'm unhappy with this city's leaders right now. And people are like, well, then move. Move if you hate it here so much.
Let me tell you.
Literally.
Daddy's back. No, that's horrible. Like,
Like, bro, I grew up here. This is my city too, motherfucker. And the girl, oh my God, one of the girls that told me to move was so fucking ugly. Oh my God, I had to zoom in and be like, is that a man?
so what state you live in?
West Virginia.
West Virginia, Mountain Highway. That song really has nothing.
Mountain Mama. Mountain Your Mama.
That song is not about West Virginia. That's what people
No,
hate.
it's not. It's about Western Virginia.
Yeah. Where John Denver was from. Like
Mhm.
that's what,
Yeah,
like the fuck. But
we
no,
claim it.
I strongly believe, and we're going to go down that rabbit hole because you were talking about how you believe in witchcraft and you do witchcraft. I believe that this universe is weirder and there's a lot more to it than our brain wants to accept. And that's where full blown atheism, there's nothing more than just this comes from because we just don't want to grasp it. But I also don't think that there is one huge supreme God that controls everything. I think God is God. I'm going to use quotes because the definition changes by generation to generation, century to century. Is just another name for the universe. It's just another name for us. It's just another name for the cosmos. We have no way to name it because find another word to describe what I'm trying to talk about. There is none, so it's a blanket term. If you ever read, I read a lot of philosophical books, and if you ever read the Satanic Bible, which is a philosophical book, people like to argue that, but it's an edgy title. He did it on purpose. It's a philosophical book. He said in this book that it isn't that Satanists are atheists, it's that the definition of God is different. It's a dual thing. It is good, it is bad, it is everything. There is no good or bad. It's all a matter of interpretation. Therefore, we all are our own divine aspects, which magic, even back in 1967 when he wrote it, was scientifically backed. They just called it energy at the time because you can actually manipulate energy because all we are is electric, water, and crazy shit. Because if you think about it, our subconscious really isn't ours. If you really look, dig deep, and go crazy with it, our subconscious isn't ours. The way they judge brain waves is it's electric waves that come in, enter this, and then leave. So, like, it's a simulation. And
We're living in a simulation.
that's where the Matrix came from.
Yeah.
What is loading on your glasses? There's like a oval.
Oh, it's my ring light.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Can you change the color, or is it just like? It just looks like a. Oh, that's sweet. It might be annoying, but that's pretty sweet. All I have is like an overhead light. By the way, anytime you want to come on here, you're more than welcome. I'm going to start doing these more often, just chilling. Might even go live eventually. I used to
Do you
deal,
have
huh?
you should get on Super Live. I go live on Super Live pretty much every day.
What the hell's super live?
I mean a live app that you can get money paid on.
Shit, do I have to show my butthole?
Nope.
Oh, I'm not
If you
opposed
do
to it.
show your butthole, you will get banned.
Oh, okay, cool. I've thought about doing the whole OnlyFans thing, but like, I'm like worried like a creepy uncle might get it or something, or like a relative. That'd just be. You made that face. I just hit too far to him. Anyway,
Let's just say I grew up with not knowing that I had other siblings.
oops. And they didn't know.
Oh no, they knew. They knew.
And why did
He
they?
knew.
Why? You are from West Virginia. All right, that's
He's not though. He's not. My dad's from Iowa.
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 Do you know what's in Iowa?
Corn.
Slipknot. That's it. That's all. That's all I got against Slipknot. Well, Stone Sour by default, but then,
Yeah. And my incesty family.
I didn't view Iowa as like an incest area. Like, not to like. I'm not starting to sound like I'm like I'm like racist
I
against
didn't
states.
either. That's the thing. I never expected this.
Like Alabama gets a lot of hate for it. Like the southern states. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying it's a
No.
typecast. West,
Yeah.
West Virginia, parts of
Mhm.
Ohio. I hear
Mhm.
it about Ohio, but
Mhm.
never Iowa.
Mhm.
Another one I never heard of is Kansas, but I drove through there. I don't think anybody lives there.
Yeah, no. I don't know what was going on. It wasn't just my half brother. It was my nephew too. My nephew's older than me. He's 6 months older than me. Yeah, both of them. And I was like, "What is happening right now? What is going on?"
Oh, well, I mean, you're getting paid.
I'm like, "I don't even know if the money is worth it at that point. This is fucking weird."
Like I've heard of women. Like I've got a lot of friends that make content, so this is a safe place. Uh, when that happens to them, which it's often, it's weird. That's why I don't do it. But like they usually just block that relative. They don't even partake because it's just I don't know. It's just like going to the strip club to see your daughter. Like it's just odd to me.
Yeah.
Like it's just weird. I don't know. Yeah, I'd block them. Uh, this
Yeah.
this conversation is taking a turn for the best. Uh,
Quick question. Do you care if I do a dab?
I don't care as long as you do it like off the screen because certain platforms don't allow that.
Yeah, no, I get you. Uh, yeah.
This is 420 friendly. I'm an advocate. You're good.
Hold on. Get
I
my.
appreciate you asking though. Most people don't. They're like just got a big old fat blunt in their hand. Just
Oh no. I was on live the other day and this chick just pulled out a gram of coke and just snorted that shit up. Hey babe, would you bring me the dab stuff? Or you can just hand it up here to the stairs.
that is crazy. Oh, okay, we're good. We're Gucci.
Yeah, no. And she didn't speak English either. She was from Colombia. And pretty sure she
Oh,
was a man.
that's where that it's acceptable over there. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
She was a man.
I'm pretty sure. We weren't really sure what was going on.
I'm not one to judge. I'm trans
Thank
friendly,
you.
but like I think the
Thank
reason
you.
why a lot of people don't
You.
like the trans community
Thank you.
legitimately is they're afraid they might accidentally fuck someone they think is a man.
Yeah, no, the literally most of the reason is that they're like, why am I attracted to this person?
They're like, you used to be a dude.
Uh,
Quite frankly, like I
okay. And
I do some stand up comedy and like I have this thing in my set where I ask people, I'm like, so the trans issue is that you don't want to accidentally fuck someone and you might be gay. But there is no gay. It's 2025. There's no gay, there's no straight. Let's just do away with it all. If you take a woman home and she has a dick, just move it out of the way. Just move, just move it to the side like panties.
There's just more body parts to play with.
It just gives you something to hold on to while you're in there. You know what I like to do? I like to stick it in and then I grab theirs and pretend I poked all the way through to the other side. Wow.
That's good. That's good. That's pretty good.
Like, holy shit, just it's not gay to give a hand job to a woman. It's a woman. You know what I
It's
mean?
not gay. Love that.
It's a woman. Like, it's not gay to suck a woman's dick. Am I wrong?
That's true. That's very true.
That's a woman.
I'm smoking on. It's a motherfucking donut honeycomb, live resin sugar.
Oh, I hate that as a stoner who you get the munchies and you're like, oh, I have sugar and it's the right kind, but it's the wrong kind. For the like
No, I felt that.
they named the shit after dessert item. You got sugar, batter. What the fuck? What's up with all these goddamn names? Like, I went to the dispensary one time, right? And this was my first time going to a recreational dispensary. I was in Arizona. I didn't know the names of shit yet. Like, I was new to this whole. I remember when dabs looked like you're doing crack. When they had the little fucking. You
Oh,
remember?
I have a nectar collector, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing crack. But back then, you're just like. And I'm like, what the fuck? But anyway, I went to this dispensary, right? And I walk up to the counter and I order my items and I leave. My friend behind me, because they don't let you go in a group. So you go back there, he ordered his shit. And he's like, hey, Mike, you should try this. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, it's full spectrum. I'm like, I'm already on the spectrum, dude. Like, I don't know how far, like, I don't know if I'm going to hit this and end up with Asperger's. Like, I don't want, like,
I can't turn on to Elon Musk.
I love, I, I'm, I don't like any politician we've had, but I do have to say if you disassociate from the world we're in and watch it from an outside, this shit is kind of funny. Like it's kind of stupid.
Oh yeah.
It's idiocracy. Because here's the thing: in 2016, the not so distant past, when he ran for president the first time, he was anti-electric cars, very anti-electric cars and pro coal. Now he's very pro Tesla. Not just pro Tesla. In 2000, I want to say 12, he was hating on the president for being from Africa, which he wasn't, and he supplied his birth certificate, and he didn't believe it. However, the current man that's actually helping control the government is from South Africa and owns an electric company.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what side you're on, but you got to see the hypocrisy and the weirdness here. Like, what? You're
Which coincidentally, South Africa is where I'm trying to move to.
oh, nice. I have a buddy who's from South Africa.
Me
Uh,
too.
South Africa, a lot of people don't realize, is predominantly white.
Yeah, no, he's a white guy. If you end up getting on Super Live, I can introduce you to like so many fucking people.
Well, send me the link. I'm down for anything that will help
Yeah,
me.
like literally so many fucking people from all over the world too. Like I've met people from so many different places.
Well, the thing with this podcast is I'm trying to like get people on here like to get to know everyone, and I would like to just do hangouts and like do like just fun podcasts. I don't want anything particular. Like I have people in my life that could come on here that would bring eyes, but I just like the conversation. Like
Yeah.
I've
No.
I've had my fair share of like the guests that like have toured and stuff, and they'll come on again. But like, it's the people that lived through the trenches. I'm going to give a shout out to my buddy Ryan because he has a show in the trenches. It's the people that's been through the trenches and through the rough stuff and still are that are the most interesting. I want to interview that fucking dude on TikTok and Facebook that blew up. You're a music person, so you would know who he is. Bobby Liebling from fucking Pentagram. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Pentagram. If
Maybe.
if
It sounds really familiar.
if not, you need to listen to them, and you need to watch the documentary Last Days Here. He's the dude that's like the older dude that's like he's performing on stage, but he's like that guy. You know who I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah, totally no.
Yeah, well, that's him. Well, if you watch his documentary, it's sad. It's really sad. At the time, he was in his 50s, and he at the beginning of the documentary, he's trying to find a crack rock in his mom's sofa. He's still living at his parents' house, and you find out that this dude has a life of almost becoming famous, and then he just blows it. For instance, he's been around as long as Black Sabbath with Pentagram, and they
Oh, okay.
and they were a doom metal band. Well, he don't call it doom; they're rock and roll, but they're a doom band, and they was the same time as Sabbath. And a record label decided, owned by Kiss at the time, decided that they're going to be the next Black Sabbath. They're going to be the big band, even though they've been around the same amount of time. But he wanted to bring them to the superstardom because they had that sound. Bobby blew it. He didn't take the day off work, so he was at work cleaning toilets, and he showed up wearing a janitor's outfit while Gene Simmons was in his house, and they just didn't look like rock stars. And you know how Kiss is; they're assholes. So they just wouldn't let him. And the whole documentary is about his bad drug addictions and him just can't keeping bandmates. And there's this fan in the documentary who loves Pentagram. So he keeps giving them chances. He becomes friends with Bobby, keeps giving them chances. And Bobby just keeps blowing it. And he doesn't show up for an event, this, that, and the other. And you don't care about spoilers, do you?
No.
At the end of the documentary, I felt like a little bitch because a tear came to my eye. The fans like, you have two shows. This is your last chance. If you do not show up, I'm done. And he's like, you have to be sober and you have to show up. Well, in the documentary, the girlfriend he had broke up with him. So that's why he went back to the addiction. Well, at the very end of the documentary, you see the stage and the stage lights come on and the band comes out and Bobby walks out and he does the full hour and a half performance. And it's like 1970s energy Bobby, like he's back. And then at the very end of the documentary, he's sitting there and he's like, oh, and one last thing. And his girlfriend came out and they had a kid together.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, it's heartwarming. However, you find out that a few years later, you don't find out the documentary, but if you do research, a few years later, he relapsed and shoved his 90-year-old mom down a flight of steps. But he is sober now. That was his wake up call.
I bet it was.
We all need that wake up call. Not we, I was never a drug addict, but sometimes in life with your own mental health, you need that wake up call. Is it right that they do that thing? No. But we shouldn't judge people that are struggling as well. You can judge their actions, but people change. So this guy just recently got superstardom again by becoming a meme. And I think he deserves a change. He's 70 years old trying to right his wrongs. You got to understand how hard that's got to be.
Oh, yeah.
This dude was a drug addict for 50 years.
Ugh. I can't imagine how, like, you're still alive.
People are saying that. They're saying he makes Ozzy look fucking Amish. And he's up here like performing.
God damn.
You got to think he had $1,000 a day addiction, he said in the documentary. And he was doing like 8 balls, heroin, all that shit in one day.
I cannot imagine. I cannot fucking imagine. I've
There's
seen I've seen people do meth. I've seen people do heroin in front of me. And not a lot of it. So I can't imagine actually. No, no, can't
In the
imagine.
documentary, he's sitting there and he has bandages on his arms. And he's like, I have this rare parasitic infection. And he's like ripping his skin off of his hands, off of his arms. And then he goes to the hospital and they let him go because they're like, you don't have anything. and the drugs have him convinced that he's dying of a parasitic infection.
Yep, that's what happened to my ex's brother. Well, he didn't. He was like convinced there was bugs on him because he was fucking high shit on meth.
Yep. And it's sad. And I know some people are like, well, they did the drugs, but people don't realize that a lot of the times it isn't them saying, oh, I want to try this. A lot of the times you're either A, born into addiction due to your parents, or B, you go to the doctors, you get a pain medication, you become addicted to it, they take you off of it, then you go to the street shit. And then that's when you fall down the rabbit hole of opioids. I blame the medical system. I don't blame the addicts, I blame the medical system.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But we as a society, for some reason, think millionaires, billionaires, and those abusing the system that aren't poor are never the problem.
No, I have to pay so much money for my fucking medication, and like I cannot stop it. There's like a chance that I can die if I just stop taking it.
That's sad because I have a friend, different different illness, similar situation. He's diabetic. If he doesn't pay what he can barely afford of health care, he has to pay $600 to $800 for one medication,
Mm-hmm.
which is fucked up because our medical prices right now, the reason why they're so expensive is because insurance companies were created. We're paying insurance prices for not having insurance. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
Like that's like buying a car and getting insurance. And
it's fucking crazy.
then that happening. But honestly, we still pay insurance prices because then we get in a car accident and the insurance company 9 times out of 10 will cover it anyway. So I don't even know what the point of having car insurance is. I don't know why it's a required law if we're paying for shit anyway.
Well, it's not in Ohio, is it?
It's required. I think it's federally required now.
Oh, okay. Because you used to not have to have a inspection sticker and shit in Ohio.
No, you don't have to have you don't have to have your car inspected, but
Um,
you have to have insurance.
okay.
Yeah, you don't have to have it inspected. Ohio is weird like that. Like you can drive around with a big old rusted hole in the side of your car, as long as it has wheels, brakes, and it's street legal
And it has insurance.
and insurance. It doesn't even have to have a front plate.
That's crazy.
A
Yeah, we
lot
don't
of
have front plates.
yeah, a lot of our cars don't even get sold with front plates.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
that's
it's
crazy.
weird.
That's why they say the closest Walmart to us is in Ohio, right across the bridge, and they say your life is worth half as much over in Ohio if you get into an accident.
It is. That is fair.
Hmm.
Well, what's crazy is like talking about places being closer. I am a medical marijuana patient. I have been for a little while. And before it became legal in Ohio, and even now, the closest dispensary to me is in Warwood, West Virginia, another legal state. But I cannot get it in Warwood, West Virginia because it's illegal to cross state lines, which doesn't make sense because we're the United States, I thought. I thought if two states were legal, it should be fine. But no, 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 it's not at all. And
That's
if you
fucking
we
stupid.
treat our states like we do countries. So why
Yeah.
are states separate fucking countries at this point? Like, I always, no, this is the anarchist in me because I like to play devil's advocate and piss people off. Why aren't we two separate countries? Because think about it.
Period.
The South has completely different political views than the North.
Period. No, I have been an anarchist for like ever. Like I said, I grew up super religious. My dad made me go to Republican like conventions and shit. He made me literally stand on the courthouse steps in Charleston with a sign that said, Obama's change has cost me $50,000 and I'm only 8. There's still a picture of this, of me, and he will not delete it. I have begged him to delete this picture. He will not fucking delete this picture of me. He
That's
forced me to do like door
indoctrination.
to door campaigns with him. Like,
That's indoctrination and that's brainwash.
yeah, that's why exactly why I'm so anti-Christian and anti-Republican shit now because
I
of my parents.
I'm not anti anything, but I have my own beliefs because the reason why I'm not anti anything is because at the end of the day, a lot of these people, your dad included, they think that way because they, like you, just you came out of it, was raised to think that way, and they're more than likely
Mhm.
afraid
Mm-mm.
to think any other way.
Mm-mm. He was not raised like that. His parents were not Christians. My dad didn't become a
Yeah,
Christian until he was in his mid to late 20s.
damn, he's a rare case because a lot of the times people they were just raised that way or in the area or whatever. That's like with me. I just mentioned something, a religion that wasn't Christian, around a family member, and they flipped the fuck out. I was forced to apologize for it, and I'm like, why? Like, why? That doesn't sound very God. That doesn't sound very like loving and love thy neighbor Christian of you to scream at somebody because you think what they believe or you think what they're talking about is evil.
Yeah.
That's not very no. Like I don't know, but that's weird. What was his parents again?
They weren't really anything. His father grew up Quaker actually, but he didn't force any religious beliefs on his children or anything. And my paternal grandmother, I don't she was abusive and she was a piece of shit. She was Irish Catholic, but again, she didn't force anything.
Irish Catholic. They killed some people. Not your grandmother, but like
No, she probably did, honestly. Fuck that bitch. She's rotten in hell.
the Irish Catholics was one of the people. If I'm not mistaken, I could be. That's why I have the PSA down there. The Catholics, I think, were the ones that eradicated Ireland and got rid of the pagans.
Probably, yeah.
Because
She was a horrible bitch.
well, I know as much as I know about Ireland, like what little I know, I should say. I know St. Patrick is famous for ridding Ireland of snakes. And I have friends that are Irish. I have friends that are Irish pagan. There were never snakes in Ireland. They're never native to Ireland. They never lived there. It's not an area for snakes. Snakes is more than likely, we don't know, but they're more than likely symbolic of pagans.
Mhm.
It's more of a stab at the pagans,
Mhm.
even though he failed, because there's still a lot of old ancient Irish pagans um, that still worship the old gods, which can we admit that Ireland doesn't get enough love when it comes to their old Celtic gods and shit?
Period. I don't really claim Ireland because I don't claim my grandmother. Um, I'm German, so I claim Germany. But
Oh, Germany was cool up until like the 30s and 40s, but we don't we don't talk about that. Sorry, continue. I'm an asshole.
yeah, no, like I said, my grandma, I don't claim her. She was a horrible person, so I don't claim Ireland.
Yeah, but
Ireland's cool though. I've been there. I've been to Dublin.
you shouldn't hate Ireland just because of a grandparent, because it's a
Oh, I
beautiful.
don't hate Ireland. I hate my grandmother. I love Ireland.
You should look up. I actually have a book, and you're more than welcome to borrow it if we ever meet in person. It's Irish folklores. It's all of the Irish fairy tales. But they
Okay.
don't. This is what upsets me is because I study mythology, as I said, and theology and shit. Egyptians get all the love. We got to admit, Egyptians, Greek, and Norse all get the love because they wrote shit down. The Irish don't get much love, and if you get a folklore book, they're usually missing the Irish gods and their stories.
Mhm.
It's just fairy tales, like, and they're cool, but the Irish
Hold on.
god stories are awesome. Oh shit.
I think I may have a book
Oh, okay.
that has some Irish gods in it.
Oh, nice. A lot of them are missing, and I noticed this when I went to the bookstore because there's like three different Irish mythology books there, and I think all three of them are missing it. The Two a Day Danann. I don't know if you're familiar with the Two a Day.
I don't think so.
They're pretty much Ireland's equivalent. I'm not saying they're exactly, but it's pretty equivalent to the Aesir gods of Norse mythology.
Hmm.
Very similar. Not the same, but very similar. And we can get on that rabbit hole if you want, because Their stories are beautiful, but they're all warriors, similar to that of the Norse mythology. And if you notice, all theologies and mythologies are kind of connected. They tell similar stories. Uh, Egyptian Egyptian covers I forget which god it is. I think it might be Osiris. He died and was resurrected, and it's crazy. What book you got there? Book of Spells.
Yes, this is talking about the different like well, this is the traditions, the Gardnerian tradition,
Oh, nice.
and
That,
then has Alexandrian, Dianic, Italian,
ooh.
Celtic, Fairy, Norse,
See, with
and
Celtic,
Egyptian.
Celtic, and we call it Celtic now, but it's hard to. When books say Celtic, it kind of gives me a headache because it's five different regions or four different regions. It's Germany, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. I could be wrong about Germany, but it's like three or four different areas. So, like, to say exactly what is Celtic mythology is hard to pinpoint because they all believed in different things. But do they cover all the different ones, like Scotland and Ireland?
It says Scotland and Ireland, yes.
They did share deities. Like I think Brigitte was in both. The Morrigan was in both.
Brigitte is Germanic.
Started in Ireland. As far as I know, it started in Ireland. Bridget was a goddess that was of the Tuatha Danann. But I don't know because they never wrote things down. So I don't know if it's a modern thing or if it was like the germ. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hold on. I know she's in this book.
Because I know for a fact that Christianity borrowed her and turned her into a saint. Saint Bridget, which a lot of people argue that she was a real character and it just happens to be she shares a name with a goddess. But see, like I said though, there's different gods and goddesses, but they share the same name. There's different stories because what would happen is this group of people would go here and they would borrow the story and it would evolve into their own region because stories vary region to region. That's like Yahweh, for instance. Are you familiar with Yahweh?
Hmm.
Do you know where Yahweh started?
No, I don't.
Yahweh was an Israelite storm god.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then somehow morphed into what the Gnostics called the demiurge and what they call Yahweh. It's crazy. So when you do magic, do you have like, because I know people do it differently. Do you have like a deity that you attach yourself? I know you don't believe in one, but with
Oh,
me, for instance, I don't believe that. Let's
hold
see.
on. It does say she's Irish.
Okay. See, I could have been wrong. Because yeah, she did have some Germanic stories, but I think that's when the church borrowed fire, wells, inspiration, communication, poetry. Yep, that's Bridget. Yeah, is the Dagda on there?
The what is it called?
The Dagda, Dagda.
No.
Ooh, the Dagda is the Allfather of the Irish mythology. He carried.
Well, these are broken up into different um seasons of gods and goddesses.
Oh, okay.
I found it. Yeah, I found Dagda.
What season is he linked with?
Spring equinox.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure what
Great.
season. I see it. Magic, war, strength, music, wisdom. Yep. He's actually connected to abundance and fertility because the Dagda is what you'd call and I'm not one to shame nobody, but he's what you'd call a whore. He he
Period.
it's a big. I'll send you a video about their mythological cycle if you're interested. I don't really feel like getting into the 3 hours of Irish mythology involving the Dagda and the Tuatha Dé Danann, but the Dagda pretty much is like their Odin,
Okay.
but he carries this cauldron and it never runs dry, which is abundance. It's symbolic of abundance. But he also
Hmm.
carries this club, and with one end he can kill, and with the other one he can revive. Um, the
This
Dagda.
also has Sheila Nugget,
Oh, how do you pronounce it?
Great Mother in primitive form, protection, creativity.
How do you spell that?
Sheelanagig.
I'm not too sure on the pronunciation. I know a few Irish gods and goddesses names, but I don't know that one.
What?
Uh, Sheila Nagig, I think. I think the Great Mother. That's interesting because I
Mhm.
never heard the Great Mother called by that name. I always heard Danu. I've heard Anna. I've heard,
Oh,
but I've not
there's
heard.
another version of Dagda in
Oh,
summer solstice.
really? Is it the same?
No, magic, war, art, strength, music, wisdom. Okay, so the last couple are the same.
Well, he is the god of all of that. If you take both and combine it,
Hmm.
because he
Oh
is
wait, no, it is the same. Yeah.
okay. Because he is. I didn't hear you say abundance. That's why it sounded different.
Mm-hmm.
The Dagda is a very interesting character because he's just the All Father, and they call him the Great. No, what do they call him? The Good God. And they don't call him the Good God because he's a good person. They call him the Good God because he's good at everything. Everything he does, he's good at.
There's Ain as well, the Irish goddess of the moon, meadows, and midsummer.
Nice. But when it comes to gods and goddesses, for me, I think they are good for storytelling and helping you achieve what you need to achieve. But I also believe that those gods and goddesses are manifestations and they are materializations of our own higher subconscious, our own behavior and nature. So to worship a god is to pretty much talk to yourself as an outsider. So I do a lot of
Yeah.
shadow work in that way, if that makes sense. If I am projecting that properly for a way that you could understand.
Yeah.
Um, you basically find a story that you resonate with, or a god that you resonate with, or create one, and just talk to yourself as an outsider, and you can give the best advice because that's not you talking to you in your brain, but in your higher subconscious, you know the difference. That's where people get lost. They don't realize their own delusions in reality. Which reality is kind of hard to grasp too, because what your reality is isn't mine. Is that what company does that book? Because that design on there looks familiar, and I know a company that does a lot of like witchy books.
Uh,
Because I think that's the company that does my tarot book that I had.
10 speed press.
Oh, do you deal with tarot?
I do. Actually, I was trying to find my favorite deck. I also have this one. This is vintage. An old witch gave this to me.
A complete guide to tarot. What kind? What type is that? The original Rider Waite?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's the oldest. That's the oldest one that you can purchase. There are older decks than that that are hard to find. There's the Italian one, which
This
some
was published in 1970.
okay. That's probably Rider Waite because that's the more popular one. I'd have to see some of the cards on it to like the Joker and stuff. Like the ones I'm familiar with the major arcana more so than the minor.
Let me see if I can find it.
I have 4 or 5 different decks, and I think some of them you might appreciate. Oh yeah, that's the
It's the
Rider Waite.
sun.
That's the Rider Waite. I have that same deck, but it's like shiny. I forget what you call that.
Holographic?
Yeah, I have that one. I have the 72 Demons of the Lesser Key of Solomon deck. That's a fun one to creep people out. It's it's the occult deck, and then they have the angel version, and then they have the pot deck. I have the marijuana tarot. They do make them.
Mm-hmm. I've seen them. I
All
don't
the
know what my fucking favorite deck is because I was gonna offer you a reading, but I don't know where my favorite deck went. Oh, she's hiding from me, I guess.
That's not good. Playing hide and seek. Hide and seek tarot. The tarot deck has a very long history, and I don't even think anybody knows the real history because there's even older decks and like in Italy, there's documented like paintings and shit of people playing with tarot decks from like the 1600s, the 1500s. Tower. Is that the tower card?
No, this is a six of clubs.
Oh, that's your tarot deck. That's interesting.
Yes.
Because actually, tarot decks, bicycle decks, actually borrowed from tarot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. I thought that it had the design of the six of clubs, but it was actually a tower card. So it's a bicycle deck, but a tarot deck.
Yeah,
Wow, that's crazy. I kind of said that like Chris Walken. Wow, that's crazy.
I love this card.
That's amazing. Is that Vishnu?
I think it is, yeah. Blonde.
Sorry, I'm a nerd. You like you pop up a god, and I'm like, I think I know that one. Is that Vishnu?
I know her.
No, that Shiva's her. Shiva's the her. Vishnu's the he.
Oh,
The male Vishnu. The Shiva's the female.
I just met her. Like, I just call everybody she and everything she.
Oh, it's okay, but I mean, it's two of the same being, I think. So you're like, yeah, isn't that weird that religious folks are so against trans, but they don't know what their God is?
Yeah.
God's the first trans person. Put that on.
Right?
Put that on a shirt. Put that.
Put on her shirt.
Jesus was the first cross-dresser.
Yeah.
He wore sheets. Actually, I think people were doing that way before him.
King
Are
of
you
Diamonds.
are you shuffling your deck? Is that how do you
Oh, I
sh-
already pulled my cards now.
how do you shuffle your deck? Do you do it? Is that Shiva?
Uh,
No, that ain't Shiva. I don't know who that is. I'll admit when I don't have any idea. That's some bald guy. That's
it's the generosity card and happiness found in nature or spirituality.
oh,
Which,
nice.
yeah, that's
So,
you.
I mean, that does make sense. I love nature, and I am very spontaneous. Would that be more so a oracle deck?
Uh, Probably.
That's
I
why I'm
think it's
curious.
Illuminated Tarot.
Okay, that's. I was just getting confused because oracle decks typically have like different cards, but the tarot decks usually have the same like swords, knives. Well,
Yeah.
swords, cups. Sorry, swords, knives. They're the same thing. Swords, cups, pentacles, and
Wands.
wands. Yes.
I wonder where my other deck went because I like that deck a lot more. But this is the Lovers card. It's a Six of Hearts.
Oh, okay, then it is tarot. It's just designed in a way that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
I like it. It's
Love, Beauty, and Union.
yeah.
Pretty.
It's a beautiful card.
And
Yeah.
the
What was the name of that app again? I'm gonna get that because we need to
Super Live.
super live. Which one's that?
This is the Six of Diamonds. Charity, harmony, and cooperation.
Huh. Are we doing a reading right now, or are you just showing me the cards?
Oh yeah. No, I was doing a reading. These were your cards.
Okay. What were they again? Could you give me them one more time?
Yeah, the King of Diamonds, the
Sorry, I'm
Six of.
medicated.
Oh, you're good. The King of Diamonds, the Six of Hearts, and the Six of Diamonds.
And what did they all mean again? One last time, like the keywords.
The King of Diamonds was the generosity card.
No.
The Six of Hearts is the Lover's card, and the Six of Diamonds is another like generosity, charity, harmony, and cooperation.
Shit. So I need to start cooperating. I don't like cooperating. I'm a brat. I have
Period.
big brat. I have big brat energy.
Period. Same. Oh my god, this card is gorgeous. I just pulled this card out.
Ooh, that is beautiful.
Isn't it though?
I love the design on the skull.
Yes. That's so
That
cool.
reminds me of what's that Mexican festival? The Day of the Dead.
Dia de los Muertos.
It reminds me of artwork for that.
Yeah, like a sugar skull.
Yeah, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. The thing is, it's kind of weird, but people view like death or like imagery that looks like it could mean death as evil. Like we as a society have made death an evil thing, like the Grim Reaper, skulls, anything that's symbolic of death. The Morrigan, which is a raven, uh, all of that is evil. I don't understand why death has to be evil, man. That's just the next stage of existence. What what's your reading? Oh, here we go. Ooh, awkward silence. Did you light an incense?
No, it's Deb.
Oh, that's your incense. You're like, I'm gonna purify the area.
It's always smoke glitz.
I wonder if cannabis could be used as like to purify an area. I think any herb. It's really all it is about intention. You don't really. It doesn't matter.
That's
Oh,
why I say I find of spirituality, it's supposed to be personal to you, right?
yeah,
And
same.
what's like more personal to you if you love weed than weed air from your lungs?
I, I think all religion and spirituality are like the same. Somebody asked me the other day. They're like, "What's the difference between you being spiritual and you being religious?" I'm like, "I don't need a church for that because it's personal. I don't need somebody to tell me what I'm supposed to believe. Because if you're telling me what I'm supposed to believe, no, that's what you believe. Like, not me. I've read that book. I've actually back on the topic of Bible since you were born religious. The current Bible is not the same Bible that was published.
Oh, girl, you forgot to pay the electricity bill.
All right, for those people, whenever we finally post this, I had some technical difficulties, but I'm back. I apologize for that. I don't know what happened.
I found the deck that I like to use.
Oh, yay! Which kind is that?
This is actually a Nordic deck.
Oh, I love it. I'm part German, so I do enjoy the Nordic side of things.
I'm very German. I still have family that live in Germany.
Lucky. I think I might have some family that still live in Ireland.
So, would you like the past, present, and future spread? Or I have a list of different spreads, but most people just want the past, present, and future.
I'll do past, present, and future because I don't think we have time for the Celtic knot reading. Are you familiar with that one?
Yes,
It's very in depth. Oh,
yes. Well, I also do the horoscope. tarot, and that is 13 cards.
Damn, the Celtic Knot's what, 8 or 9?
Yeah, I believe it's 9. I think I've seen it both ways because I've also heard of like the Celtic cross, like different things.
Yeah, the Celtic one that I'm talking about is it's
No,
one, it's one and then
no,
two on top sideways, well, slanted, and then it's two on bottom, I think, three on the side, four up here, five here, and then the line right here.
okay.
Okay, past, present. I'm writing it down so that I can.
Okay. I have actually never pulled this card before, so you get the first reading for this card, and I'll turn it on that so you can see it. This is the Fool card.
Oh,
This is going to represent your past.
the fool.
Okay.
He's symbolic of taking a step into the unknown, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. The keywords for this card are innocence, journey, enthusiasm, optimism, and joyfulness. The meaning behind this card: the Fool represents the start of a new journey in work, love, or even location. A leap of faith will be required as you turn away from what's comfortable and embrace the unknown. New relationships, exciting job offers, and opportunities to live and work in exciting places can be expected, and this is a great omen for anyone who is thinking of starting a business or changing their career path. Encouraging you to be daring and brave yet practical, it symbolizes a start and new and exciting chapter in your life.
But what does that mean in the past position, though? That makes sense in the present or the future.
Yeah. Probably I would say that would mean what your life has been leading up to, in a sense, like you have been walking through as a fool until you get to the moment where you're leading, like it's leading up to this moment.
Okay.
Your past has been leading up to this moment.
See, I was taking
As
it
the
like
fool.
that, or in the past, I've been a fool and I haven't taken the steps like I've been living a safe life. That could also be that too.
Yeah,
Present card.
is the Ten of Wands.
10 of Wands. I'm writing them
And
down because I'm going to do a journal later.
okay. The keywords behind this card are completion, vision, burdens, and emotional freedom. The Ten of Wands symbolizes a time when you're feeling overwhelmed or burdened. It often appears when you're nearing the end of a mission or goal, and the final stages of your journey prove to be the most challenging of all. The cost of success could be greater than expected, as growth in one area, such as business or work, leads to neglect in others, perhaps friendship and love. Unreasonable demands from other people, including relatives and bosses, could leave you feeling exhausted, and there may be some unforeseen setbacks as well. Pause and reevaluate your priorities. Success is important, but so are the people you love.
Damn. That hit
Yeah.
deep. All right. Let's do the future.
Okay,
This is,
this is the Eight of Pentacles.
so,
Movement, achievement, success, passion for business.
yeah, the Pentacles are typically money cards.
Yes. The Eight of Pentacles is a card of accomplishment. It can symbolize anything from a landmark achievement in your work or studies, such as a promotion, degree, or gaining a new qualification, to a personal triumph, such as losing weight or running a marathon. Positive outcomes to exams and interviews can be expected, and there could be an opportunity to further your skills while boosting your bank balance. Known as a card of craftsmanship, it's also a great omen for those thinking of pursuing a different career path or turning a hobby, for example, baking or jewelry making, into a business.
Damn. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a journal later. So, with your form of, you would call it witchcraft, correct? I don't want to be disrespectful.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do call it witchcraft for sure.
Do you have any deities that you work with per se, or
Um, yeah, but my main girl is Hecate. Hecate. I love her.
that's a basic answer. That's
I know it's really basic, but honestly, I, out of I used to be a Christian. Calling to Jesus, obviously, God never did shit for me. Calling to Hecate, I actually I feel a connection and I feel like she's actually done things for me.
Well, it's kind of weird though, but as a former Christian, I would have, and I'm not trying to like typecast or none, but I would have assumed like Lilith.
I did. I did love Lilith there for a little while, and then I don't remember exactly what it was. I was like, I'm gonna try. I think I was trying like different deities and stuff, and I think I just really liked Hecate.
Makes sense. The imagery is a little better, in my opinion. And it's less negative connotation.
Yeah, yes,
Because
definitely.
when you've had religion drilled into your mind, your dogma part of the brain, it's hard for you to disassociate evil from Lilith. Kind of like a lot of people that leave Christianity or find other deities, it's hard for them to choose Lucifer as a deity because it's that dogma. They don't. It's hard to separate the fact that he's just a symbol of knowledge.
Mm.
But yeah, Lilith and is it Hecate? Is that how you pronounce it? Hecate?
I've heard it both ways. Hecate, like Hecate and Hecate. I've heard it both ways, honestly.
They're pretty much a similar deity, but different
Hmm.
mythological cycles. And when I say mythology, I don't mean in a facetious kind of way, like, oh, it's fake. I mean, so in a mythological, literally means that it is a above average story. It's shit that probably is way beyond the realm of our understanding
Definitely.
because there are things that have happened in history, I think, that a lot of beings are more than likely misinterpretations of other shit going on. Some people call them falling angels. I call them fucking aliens. Um, not
Okay, yeah, period.
not to go back to that topic, but the only reason they called them falling angels is because they thought the planets they were seeing were other dimensions, and that's where they came from. Hell, you got to think back then, humans thought the Earth was a giant globe in the middle of an ocean. That's what a lot of people believed,
Yeah,
which is weird because
and flat.
uh, Christopher Columbus and all the Italians and all them thought it was flat, but the Egyptians knew they were round.
Yeah,
Because
craziness.
if you look at the Egyptian paintings and shit, no, the Sumerians, sorry, Sumerians, they have pictures of all of the planets in our atmosphere. And they're all round. They look exactly like they look. And they have a ninth planet. And there is a ninth planet, I do believe, that sometimes goes in our orbit. It's they call it Planet Nine or Planet X or whatever you want to call it. That's wild. Get Elon Musk to go there. It's just
And stay there.
I think here's my theory on the the muskrat. I think he infiltrated our government to make space exploration an independent business outside of the government for him to make more money and take NASA out of business by cutting funding to NASA, by claiming corruption.
Yeah.
They're already doing that by claiming corruption. And I'm like, sorry, I got political.
No, you're all good.
What's your time limit? Because I talk.
No, you're good. I was gonna ask, when are you gonna end? Because I am hungry.
Go get you food. We can cut it here, but you can always come back if you want. If you enjoyed the conversation, you're more than welcome back.
Yeah,
Let's
well, we can go on Super Live sometime too.
let's do that.
Yes.
I do have a podcast tomorrow. I'm actually talking to a gentleman who is a tarot card reader on TikTok. Ironically, I did
Nice.
not expect to get my reading tonight, so I might get another one tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, probably.
Something I've been doing before we go, I told you that angel deck and that demon deck. I sometimes use them together because you need the
Okay.
lightness and you need the darkness. So for my past and my present and future reading, I don't do the past one all the time. Sometimes I do, and I use a regular tarot card. I'll use the demon as the present, and I use the angel as the future, or flip them. And it's a very interesting reading It's very,
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
very interesting. But because evil, to me, good and evil is a matter of personal interpretation. That's all it is.
Yeah.
There is no interpret good. There is no inheritable good or evil. For instance, now bear with me. I don't want you thinking I'm an evil Nazi. Bear with me through this point. Just stick through till the end. As horrible as what Germany did was, and it was horrible. Most of our modern medical procedures would not exist if it wasn't for what they did.
A lot of medical procedures wouldn't be available if people hadn't done some horrible fucking shit.
So, my point is, within all evil, there is good that happens.
Yeah, I think it's this not I think we need to have space for that as well, that
Yeah.
yes, horrible things do happen, but advancements can come. We can learn from these horrible things and not have to do these horrible things again.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that with
Oh
all
yeah,
horrible things in life, there does come good. It's the duality of life.
for
It's,
sure.
which goes back to there is no inheritable good or evil thing in history because even how horrible certain things were, some good did come out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, we can always learn from something if
Yeah.
only to never do it again.
But we can't never do it again because we live where we live. But anyway, I, I do appreciate you doing this.
Of
It
course.
was a blast. I enjoyed chatting with you.
Yes, I'll send you my link on Super.
Okay, I'm gonna download it right now and delete TikTok. I can't do TikTok anymore. It's like you
I
never
hate
know.
TikTok.
We never know if it's going to be an app or not.
Yeah, I don't even have it installed on my phone anymore.
I'm actually planning on going old school. I'm planning on only having a smartphone for when I have Wi-Fi to post content and stuff, and having a old BlackBerry-esque phone for when I'm out and
Mm,
about. So all I can do is answer calls and text the people that I really care about talking to.
yeah, period. My boyfriend was talking about doing that too. That's interesting.
Well, I can send them the phone I'm getting because it's like a BlackBerry, but it's not, and it's like a smartphone, but it's very basic smartphone. The camera and shit sucks. But anyway, let's do a part two and let's go live on whatever that app was. It's written right here.
Super live.
Super Live, guys, go follow me on
Yes.
Super Live. I'll post it on my website. Usenick.
Yes,
Let's do this. It
for
was
sure.
a pleasure chatting.
Later.
Later, later.
Peace out.
Peace out.